It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Field! Number 70!
We're talking about practice.
Hello, you play to win the game.
The Yankees are champions of baseball.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
3, 2, 1, happy 2000!
No time on the clock, and the Patriots have won Super Bowl 36. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead.
Worldwide Sports Radio Network presents Below the Mic.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Below the Mic. We are live every single Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. New York Eastern Time. Remember, you can call us at 631-965-4990. And you can go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Download our damn app. How many times do I have to tell all of you guys to do this? I've been going around. I've been telling people throughout social media, throughout the world. Download the app. It's for you fans. All you have to do is go to the iOS, which is Apple, and put in WWSRN. And if you have an Android, you have a Samsung, or you have whatever you have besides an Apple, you go to the search bar in your Play Store and go to Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We are right there. You can find us. You can read our stories, our excellent stories by our interns and all the different writers that we have throughout the country. Our stories, our apps, our podcasts, every single thing. If you haven't seen us live, you can watch our shows live on our network, on our app, and you can also listen to us live on our app as well. So it's for the fans, for the friends. Well, for the fans, for the friends. What, does that make sense?
Friends,
yeah.
All right.
Well, I did tell
That's a
you
good hybrid word.
My new nickname is
Sue.
Sue. You know why I named myself Susan?
After apparently a twist of my mother's name.
That's right. So now I'm called,
which she
on
hates
this
being
show,
called, by the way.
You can call me Susan Marks, okay? Susanna Marks. How's that sound? Is that good? Is that good for you?
Her name is Suzanne, but yeah, that's fine.
Well, Suzanne Marks.
Suzanne Marks.
It is a good name. It's a popular name for you. Okay, so
sure.
I did it for your mom, and I did it for you. So tonight, and only tonight, you can call me Suzanne. Anyways, I want to apologize to all the fans. We missed the show on Tuesday because of a power outage. We've had hurricane over here. It was a lot worse than we thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. Actually, it knocked down a ton of trees over here, a ton of lines, and we couldn't do any of the shows over here in New York. There were a couple of shows that were getting done in different parts of the country, but unfortunately, we couldn't do our show live, and I want to apologize to all the fans. Hopefully, everybody is okay in North Carolina and Florida. And also over here in New York, there's still people without any electricity and internet. Shout out to Jillian. She told me she got her electricity today, and then she does not have her internet until Saturday. So right now, she's using her data as far as her father is concerned. Anyways, we have a great show lined up for you guys as well. At 6:30, we'll be talking to Oregon State tight end recruit JT Burns. And at 7:15, we'll be talking to Maryland tight end recruit CJ Dippre here at Below the Mic. And we're very excited for those guys. We have a great show lined up for you guys and a lot of information. As you guys know, every single Thursday, we do this. What do we do, Speedy?
Sports and entertainment news.
Hit it, my friend. Have we seen the last of Ben Simmons in a 76ers uniform? Well, obviously, there's stories coming out that the 76ers might be interested in moving him in the offseason if they cannot go through the playoffs, get into the Eastern Conference Championship, or maybe an NBA championship team. Now, Joel Embiid is a big superstar. They're looking for that other guy. Maybe they think Ben Simmons isn't the guy. We will see as we move forward this playoff. Lakers must land Chris Paul and create a big three. Are you crazy? Why would Chris Paul go over there to the Lakers? He would have to take less money. And obviously, going to play for Anthony Davis and going to play with LeBron James means he is only going to touch the ball every third time. So that doesn't make any sense for Chris Paul, especially when he thinks he's still a superstar. Raiders' Derek Carr allegedly caught using a Twitter burner account called Jace Frost, okay?
What?
Jace Frost. Who cares? I mean, how many athletes we've seen over the years, a.k.a. Kevin Durant, has used burner accounts in Twitter. Now, obviously, they don't want anybody bothering him, so they're bothering other people with Jace Frost. So if anybody wants to reach out to Derek Carr, all you got to do is look up Jace, Jayce, Frost, Frost, and you can find him.
That'll be his nickname now if he ever struggles in a game.
There you go. NFL rumors and news. Rams, Jalen Ramsey could be $20 million plus annually on extension. Well, we're not surprised about that. This guy is the best corner in football. He has shown it year in and year out. Obviously, getting traded to the LA Rams last year at the trade deadline. He was okay playing for the Rams in the second half of the season. We saw what this guy could do. This guy is the top of the top as far as corners in the league. I'm looking forward to seeing what this guy can do and what he can produce on the LA Rams moving forward. Chicago Bears are NFL's biggest mystery team in 2020. When you think about the Chicago Bears' 2020 outlook, nothing seems conclusive. Following the division title and then an 8-8 season, we can argue the team has a roster to bounce back, but goes into the upcoming season or upcoming campaign, major questions and marks. Well, obviously, you have a question at quarterback and Mitchell Trubisky, which I like. A lot of people don't like him. And the defense, which everybody thought was going to be an electrifying defense, adding Khalil Mack. This defense did not play well in the second half last season. Let's see what they do this season, especially what they did in the offseason.
The division got worse.
And
so
their draft was terrible.
Their draft was awful outside of Jalen Johnson.
Absolutely. Giants primed to make a trade push for stud cornerback. Heavy, it's not typical, the losing a player who's managed to appear in just 6 potential 32 games in 2 years in career perceived. Now, obviously, there are stories coming out that the Patriots are looking to trade their big superstar, and you know who I'm talking about, Mr. Corner. You know, yes.
Gilmore?
Yes, sir.
I have not heard that at all.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And the Giants are looking to make a trade for Stephon Gilmore. So we will see moving forward if they can make that move. They obviously brought in their wide receiving coach in Joe Judge, who knows him very, very well. If he brings him over there to the corner position, they can solidify their corner and their DB depth moving forward. Photos emerge of Giants quarterback Daniel Jones' thighs, and they're huge. Who cares? I don't care how big his huge thighs are. Just play the game. This is a kid I think could be a superstar. We saw what he did in throughout the season last year in his rookie season. 3 400-yard games. There's only 2 quarterbacks that have done that in his rookie season. He is one of the 3 to do it. So I want to see Daniel Jones move. Actually, was it 4 or 3?
I think it was 4.
I think it was 4 too.
Yeah.
NBA rumors and news. China gets the NBA to shut up and dribble. When the National League games used to turn into brawls, the joke was, I went to fight in a hockey game and broke out. Now you can tune in and social justice protests and Chinese Basketball Association game might break out. It's actually the national spotlight of China. Well, obviously, you see what's going on with the COVID-19 and the situation over there in China, especially with everything's going on in the world. I'd like to see this. We saw what Stephon Marbury has done for China. I'd like to see what they can do, adding some good players coming into the NBA in the near future. Michael Porter Jr. could change everything for the Denver Nuggets. Obviously, we know what their bench could be. Michael Porter Jr. is one of the best bench players in the NBA. This guy could be a superstar, and he's coming off the bench. He's not even starting. This guy, if he averages 16 to 17 points, they could be very, very scary in the playoffs.
That's how good and deep they are. They are a very scary team.
Kemba Walker reveals if he seriously considered the Knicks. Now, there were stories that he was considering the Knicks. Stories coming out that he wasn't serious about considering the Knicks, which I'm not surprised. The New York Knicks are not going anywhere as we speak. Tom Thibodeau was not in position to be the head coach. So why would he go to the New York Knicks? He had a chance to go to the Celtics, get a max contract, and play for a good team. Why would he want to go to the Knicks? Doesn't make sense. Nets fined by NBA for injury reporting violation. Do you know who? Do you know who? Do you know who? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Kyrie Irving.
Well, it could be a lot of things.
It could be a lot of things, but it's probably Kyrie Irving.
I don't know who it is, but the story comes out they're getting fined for $25,000. Is that going to burn a hole in their pocket? I don't think so. MLB rumors. Rick Hahn on the White Sox trade deadline strategy. It may seem strange to say it, but we're actually just entering a thick trade deadline season, such as it is in 2020. While GM discussion his approach to unusual summer trades period yesterday via 660 The Score. First and foremost, Hahn highlighted the potential trade rumors, maybe trading Abreu. So that is a story that we will absolutely move forward and see. They're going to try to add some talent. Abreu is an older player, only 30 years old, but you can get a boatload of players back for him.
Now, it's interesting because he's on a one-year deal, so he becomes a free agent right away. So he's going to have to hope that Abreu performs, obviously, to sell high on it. Otherwise, you're not going to get much.
NHL rumors. Bruins lose to top seed despite best regular season record. I am not surprised. Tampa is a very good team. Tampa is favored in a lot of people's draft boards to win a Stanley Cup. They do not have Steven Yzerman over there, who could have been their jinx. So we'll see moving forward going into the playoffs if Tampa could get over the hump, get out of the first round, and actually make a playoff run.
But they could play Columbus again, and we saw what happened last year.
Exactly. Henrik Lundqvist retirement rumors surface after the Rangers playoff elimination. Why am I not surprised? He wants to stay, and he wants to be a New York Ranger for the rest of his career. He's into art. He's into fashion. Why would he leave New York? Here's the thing. Why don't you try to win a Stanley Cup somewhere else? The New York Rangers are nowhere close to winning a Stanley Cup. They have no defensive players. I'd like to see Henrik Lundqvist go to a team that needs a goaltender that can give him an opportunity to win a Stanley Cup. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is sports and entertainment news here at the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Now, Speedy, before you lower the music, because I don't know why you lower the music and you don't ease up on the music. I don't understand that. You need to learn that. I need to teach you how to DJ because you're terrible at it. But anyways, you know who you can learn from? Ryan Hickey. Ryan Hickey's very good at it. He produces and he hosts his show. He does it very good, very softly, very strategically. I like that. Anyways, that's it for sports and entertainment news. I'm not surprised about the Ben Simmons story. There are stories coming out right now with the 76ers that they're questioning Ben Simmons' talent. I wouldn't even say talent. His push to be a superstar player in the NBA. This is a kid that could have been working on in the offseason all this time, being off his shot. He's had a problem shooting 16 and 17-foot jumpers, and he's been a problem right now, a defensive problem and reliability at the point with some of these point guards that he plays against. So you see it a little bit right now early in the 8-game season and going into the playoffs. If they do not get over the hump and get into the NBA championship, they were in the Eastern Conference championship. So I'd like to see this team get over the hump and actually make a run. If they don't do that, I think they're planning to build a team around Joel Embiid. More than likely, that should happen.
Now, it's interesting because I always thought with the Sixers, if they were to make any moves that would be drastic, it would be getting rid of their coach first and then probably try to
he'll be gone too.
But I would say try to experiment with the players with a new coach first. And if it's still not working, if the chemistry's still not there, and obviously both of them are injury prone, so they've had trouble getting consistent chemistry season to season. Obviously, they've had their stretches, but I would experiment with that first before gambling on trading both of them right away. Because if you leave Embiid and again a big drop off after that, because remember they lost a lot of guys in free agency too. Their next best player at that point is Al Horford, who's been good, but I mean he's not as good as he was with the Celtics.
I do want to get into this story before we get our guests on, and JT Byrne is going to be the first guest that we're going to be interviewing in the very near future, probably in the next 10 minutes. But I want to get into this whole top quarterback position in the NFL. And a lot of people, as good as Mahomes is, and we know Mahomes right now, if you want to define, you're looking for a quarterback that's going to be ahead of your boards. If you're going into fantasy drafts, you're probably going to draft Patrick Mahomes out of all the quarterbacks early in the draft. But I don't even want to talk about that. A lot of people are believing that Tom Brady going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is going to completely change this team and this organization. And this is a team that I believe is going to be good because they have a lot of good wide receivers. They have a lot of good talent in the open field, especially some of the playmakers that they have. They added Gronkowski, who I think is a washed-up player, but nevertheless, he adds a piece of depth that the Buccaneers could use, especially going into the playoffs, if there is a season. There were stories coming out of Tampa that they were trying to move O.J. Howard before the draft. That didn't work. So now I think they're gonna probably keep him and use him as their second tight end if another team doesn't try to make a move before the OTA start or the season starts. But what bothers me about football fans, and I understand Tom Brady's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I understand that Tom Brady had a decent season last year. Not a great season, a decent season. I think he threw for about 3,600 yards. That's not Tom Brady-like. He did throw about 20-something touchdowns. That's not Tom Brady-like. You look at the team that he had. I know you're going to say Julian Edelman. You look at the playmakers that he had. He didn't have the playmakers he's had over the years, the Randy Mosses of the world, even the running backs. They didn't play as well as everybody expected them to do with White and Sonny Michel, who everybody thought was going to be a superstar and a steal, where they drafted him in the first round last year.
Right, especially with the way he played in the postseason the year before, too. He was probably their best offensive player.
But you look at their division, and we spoke about this with Seattle. This division is no shoe-in division. This is not going to be an easy division. Even with Seattle, and I do believe that Tampa Bay Buccaneers is a better team than the Seattle Seahawks.
Talent-wise, probably. We have to see what the young secondary is, because it kind of cancels at this point with the Seahawks, because that's a big weakness of theirs, too. Tampa's got the better front seven. Offensive line is probably Tampa as well. Seattle's got the better running game, so judge that for yourself. They're probably very similar, but you're right. Talent-wise, in terms of young talent and upside, I think Tampa's definitely favored if they can get it on defense.
You look at Atlanta, you look at New Orleans, and you look at Carolina. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, Carolina's not going to be good this year. Hold on one second. They have playmakers. They have two young wide receivers that showed you they can make plays in the open field. Now, Cam Newton's no longer there, but they still have Teddy Bridgewater there. Teddy Bridgewater can make every single throw in the NFL. This guy was a Pro Bowl player at one point in his career before he hurt his knee really, really bad. And you look at the Atlanta Falcons. If they have a chance to win, it will be this year. This defense is going to be healthy this year, as far as what we see. Their offensive line is still a very good offensive line. Now, they don't have Coleman anymore. They don't have Freeman anymore, but they do have Gurley, okay? And Gurley can make plays in the open field. And I think Gurley's going to have a better season than he did with the LA Rams last year, if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, it's interesting with Atlanta because they lost a lot on defense, but again, a lot of their young draft picks now get to play more, and they played better in the second half of the season. That defense was atrocious through their bye week, I think week 9, and then it all of a sudden played well. They beat the Saints. They blew out the Saints in the Superdome, and I think they held them to 9 points or something like that. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that is their young defense, so it depends on how their defense plays, because they're definitely still a talented team, even though I think they really got worse in the offseason because they cut players for whatever reason, like Freeman, like you were mentioning, like Mike Guido's best corner in football, which is nowhere close, in Desmond Trufant. They got rid of him.
Where did he go again?
Detroit.
That's right.
They signed him cheaply.
Where everybody gets lost.
To replace Slay, probably. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that ends up... So they end up losing a lot.
It always happens with Detroit and Cleveland. Everywhere, the two teams that everybody gets lost at in the NFL, it's either Cleveland... Actually, there's 3 teams. Cleveland, Detroit, and Miami.
Yep.
All 3 of those teams.
And when we were doing our player development, our worst player development franchises, those were my top 2.
Absolutely.
And Detroit.
Absolutely.
And Miami, they had a reputation of overpaying everybody for a long time. They still had decent teams and developed their players well, but they could never keep them.
So just like Seattle, you look at Tampa Bay and the Buccaneers in their division in the NFC South, there's no shoe-in that they're going to make the playoffs if there is a season this year. Mm-hmm. As good as Tom Brady has been over the years, as good as their team is on paper, and they're loaded as far as offense is concerned. They did have one of the best defenses in the NFC last year with Todd Bowles taking over that team. I don't think their defense is going to be as explosive as they were last year. Teams figured them out. Teams understand how they play defense now. Todd likes to move up their linebackers. Todd likes to do things like that in the open field. So, again, when you look at the big picture right now, nobody could say that Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a shoe-in in the playoffs. Now, I go up and down this division. You look at the Saints, you look at the Falcons. Those are the 2 top teams in the division. I still don't think the Buccaneers are even the second best team in this division. I really don't. first of all, Tom Brady has to get on the field and play with these guys. And I heard he is training. He's practicing in Derek Jeter's backyard. He's trying to get his arm right, and he believes there will be an NFL season this year. We don't even know if there is going to be an NFL season. And what happens if there isn't an NFL season this year? Tom Brady will be 1 year older, and you brought in a guy for 2 years, and you're paying him almost $30 million a year. That's why he left the New England Patriots. So you're going to a team that might be more talented than New England. And they on paper, Tampa is more talented than New England is, especially offensively. This might be the best offensive team he's ever played with. But again, this isn't the Tom Brady from 10 years ago. This wasn't the Tom Brady where they won 2 Super Bowls in a row. This isn't the Tom Brady that they won 2 Super Bowls in 4 years. This is the Tom Brady that's getting slowly but surely older, and he's not making the throws that we expect him to make. So I know and I understand why people think Tom Brady is going to make the Buccaneers that much better. But we don't know what Tom Brady we're going to see this year and how good Tampa Bay is going to be with their all-around game. Anyways, we have our first caller of the day before we go to break, and we bring in our special caller. Who are we speaking to?
What's up, Susan?
Hey, what's up, man? You could call me Susan today, man.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay, well, what would you like to talk about? You like to call me Susan, so it's Susan Marks to you, buddy.
Okay. Susan Marks.
What would you like to talk about?
Well, baseball's back.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
What is baseball is as interesting as you are when you call the show. Let me tell you.
Right. I've seen some interesting games lately.
Oh yeah, which game is interesting to you?
The doubleheader was pretty good.
By the way, we're talking to Kenny from upstate, White Plains Kenny, the guy that we call the turkey dinner eater. So, by the way.
Right. Was that turkey dinner is on hold because of COVID-19.
Oh, yeah? It's been on hold for the last 3 years, buddy.
Well, there's a crisis, so we can't do it now.
There's a crisis. There was just a hurricane here in New York. There's a crisis every single day here in New York.
Well, when do you want to get together and arrange a table where we're all...
Kenny, first of all, are you drinking today?
No.
You sure?
I'm sure. The only thing I had was Diet Coke.
Diet Coke, man. I mean, are you trying to go on a diet or something?
No, it's just my teeth can't handle a lot of sugar.
Oh, your teeth. Well, what's wrong with your teeth, buddy?
I have weak teeth.
Yeah, so do I. What does that mean?
I've had a lot of root canals. Now I'll have another.
Well, thank you, Kenny. Do you have anything to say before we let you go?
I guess I have nothing to say.
You just wanted to call me up and say, hello, Susan. That's what you wanted. You just want to stick it in my face that I let every single fan call me Susan for the day.
Right.
Well, thank you, Kenny. Thank you for calling.
Okay. Thank you.
Kenny from upstate. Wow. Not much to say. I mean, he does owe me a turkey dinner.
It was bound to happen, though, once you brought up the name.
Well, you know what? If you want to call me Susan Marks for today, it's all dedicated to your mom. By the way, who's driving home to Connecticut to our unelectric home.
Yes, and they will probably lose power for 10 days from what I heard.
Well, that's not good. Anyways, when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we will be talking to Oregon State tight end recruit JT Burns here on Below the Mic.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Six 631-965-4990. This is Below the Mic. We are live every single Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. New York Eastern Time. Remember, you can go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. I want to apologize to all the fans. I'm all over the place today. Everything. I am actually a firefighter out here in New York. Not only did I see so many trees hit people's houses, in people's pools, we were cutting down trees at the fire department trying to help people and take off the trees off their homes, their fences, in their pools. It's been absolute hazardous here in New York. Nobody would have expected it to be as bad as it has been. We thought it was going to be bad in Florida. It's been worse here in New York. So I want to apologize. I'm a little tired, but I'm here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to do the show for you guys. We do have power. We do have internet, and we're very happy to be here, as you guys know. Remember, guys, just go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. As you guys know, we have two very special guests today, and I was looking forward. We've been interviewing a lot of tight end recruits, top tight end recruits. I heard we were interviewing this kid, and I'm very excited to interview him. We are now talking to Oregon tight end recruit JT Byrne. What up, JT? How are you, man?
How you guys doing? Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, man. I'm a little jumpy today. Did you lose any electricity? Did the hurricane hit you?
No, we're on our side, we're on the West Coast, and nothing in Carmel except for a little bit of fog. But
well, there you go. I mean, if we just had fog, I would be very happy. We had so many trees, so many poles. I mean, it was an absolute catastrophe here in New York. There are people right here in Long Island that probably will not get their electricity or their internet back for at least possibly 5 days. In Connecticut, like you said, my producer over here, his family had to pick up a generator here because they might have electricity for 10 days.
That's so sad. I'm sorry, guys. And, obviously, with everything that's going on right now as well, that's definitely not helping with everyone being home.
Well, we're happy to have you, so we're going to have some fun with you. I told you, and I told my producer to tell you, this isn't an interview that you would expect. We like to get into serious questions, and then we're going to have some fun with you, all right?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
All right, so I wanted to, we ask a lot of the different recruits before you were recruited, what made you decide to play football? I'm sure you're very athletic. You're 6'6", 238 pounds. You could have played basketball. You could have played baseball. Look at Aaron Judge. He's 260, 280 pounds, and he's 6'8". He's an unbelievable powerhouse in the MLB. And what made you pick football out of all the other sports?
Yeah, that's funny that you asked that because going into freshman year of high school, I never stepped on a football field. And I always, my dad played football in college. His brothers played. So football's obviously in the family. And so I was always very familiar with it. Mm-hmm. But for me, I just love competing. And I always loved playing basketball and baseball growing up and was super excited to play football in high school. And I just wanted to compete every single day. That's why I played 3 sports, because as soon as you win one season, the next day you're stepping on the field playing another game. And for me, I want to play at the highest level possible. And I wanted to play Division I athletics. And I kind of learned as my high school career kept going that football was going to give me that best opportunity to play at the highest level. And I'm just so thankful and blessed that, these schools were giving me opportunities, and Oregon State gave me an opportunity to play for them. And I'm just super excited to be on board. And, football as high school's progressed, it's just morphed into my favorite sport and my passion. And I never really, people would always ask me, what's your favorite sport? You play all 3. And I'd always say, I just love playing them all. But as my high school career's progressed, it's really turned into football, and I'm really excited.
So the Pac-12, you obviously went to Oregon State, recruiting to Oregon State. The Pac-12 actually was one of the few conferences, especially throughout college football, that they utilize their tight ends a lot more. We see a lot of tight ends used at Oregon and Stanford and schools like that. A lot of ones that have been good in the NFL too. Did that sway your decision to come into the Oregon State as being utilized more as a tight end?
Yeah, I think something that was key for me throughout the recruiting process is obviously every school and team is looking for that certain build, especially when it comes to tight end, because there's a lot of different ways that you can use the tight end. And I think obviously going through the recruiting process for me, I was trying to find a fit where it was also similar to what I was doing in high school, but also something that I can expand on and develop. And I think that's something that's really key. And something that I found in Oregon State specifically is that, Coach Wozniak, the tight ends coach there, he was a former tight end. He played at Wisconsin. So he obviously knows the game. And I really wanted to play for someone who knew the game and could, help me develop and teach me and try to get me to the next level.
As you guys know, we are talking to Oregon State tight end recruit JT Byrne. Now, JT, when you talk about recruiting and recruiting players, a lot of coaches go and talk to your families and probably tell you about the school, how wonderful the school is, how wonderful the women are, how wonderful the academics are. What made you decide Oregon State out of all the different schools that were recruiting you?
Yeah, that's a good question, because obviously every school that's recruiting you, and every school's, like, the recruiter's job is to obviously persuade you and make you feel like that's home and comfortable. And I think something that Oregon State did a really good job is they before COVID hit, they were the first ones to come to my school, talk to my family, talk to my coaches, and they were the first ones that really expressed interest. And I really felt that they believed in me since day one. And, that was something that got me really fired up. And obviously I think the relationship building is key, especially with all the coaches, not just your position coach, but, being able to build that relationship with the coaches. And then also the other recruits, they did a really good job. Like, I was able to get set up with other recruits via Twitter and talk to them about why they chose Oregon State. And I think that was something that was key for me, is obviously the relationships. And that was probably the biggest takeaway throughout this recruiting, is I'm looking for a place that can foster great relationships beyond football and beyond your years playing, because you can only play football for so long, but you want good connections for the rest of your life and good relationships. And I just feel that Oregon State was very well aware of that, as well as wanting to win football games.
Your position now in the tight end position is becoming a lot more versatile than it used to be. It used to be just a short pass type thing, or you were a blocker. Now you're spreading out as a wide receiver. We see tight ends line up in the backfield a lot of the time. Have you witnessed that in your high school career so far? And if so, do you think this is going to be something that continues to expand? Yeah,
I mean, no doubt. I think obviously you watch like George Kittle and Travis Kelce, and those guys are animals, and they're doing everything. And I've seen the Chiefs hand the ball off to Kelce, and so they're obviously very versatile. I think on the high school, I've been blessed enough to have played quarterback, receiver. I've taken direct snaps and ran the ball. So I think that's something that I really enjoy, is trying to get the ball in any way possible, obviously, but also see the game from different perspectives, and it really helps with IQ for sure. And I think that's something I want to take to college as well, is like have these coaches know that I'm definitely willing to line up as a wide receiver, or go out and block as a wing, or get down in a 3-point stance. Like, I've been lucky enough to have that experience in high school.
As you guys know, we are talking to Oregon State tight end recruit JT Byrne. Now, JT, the tight end position has become a very important position in the NFL. You see the strength of some of these wide receivers, the 6'6". We talk about Gronk. We've talked about Tony Gonzalez over the years. There are so many great athletic tight ends that have come into the league and really changed the game because of their speed, their ability. If you look at your style of game, your speed, your hands, what stands out more than anything when it comes to the tight end position?
Yeah, I think for me, what has definitely hopefully opened the eyes of recruiters and Oregon State specifically is our offense in high school is very pass heavy, and I've been able to line up wide. I've been able to line up as a tight end and really spread the field vertically and try to go up and get the ball. And I think I would say that my hands are probably the best part of my game, where if I tell my quarterbacks, just throw it within the vicinity of me, and I will catch the ball for you. And if I don't, it's not your fault, And I just try to make my quarterbacks feel as comfortable as possible, especially going up and getting the ball. And I try to translate basketball to it as much as possible, especially as a wide receiver, going against a corner, going into the end zone, trying to box them out and make a play like that. And then obviously I try to take pride in just out hustling my opponent, and that comes with, sometimes I take the ball as a direct snap at quarterback and run the Wildcat in high school. And I think that's something that hopefully coaches saw, that I'm willing to, go anywhere on the field and just try to make plays and help the team win in any way I can.
Can you see in the future the tight end positioning at some point, whether it's the college football level or the NFL level, can you see the tight end surpassing wide receiver in terms of importance? And if so, why?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, obviously, when you're on a football team, every single position has the same importance because, our high school football coach tells us this all the time. Everyone needs to do their job to keep each other safe. And that's the reality of it. So I think, it can be viewed differently. Obviously, if someone's getting the ball someone's getting 15 catches a game, people could view that as more importance. But also there's 5 linemen blocking for the quarterback being able to make those throws. And the quarterback's making those throws. So I think it, obviously from an importance level, I don't know if it will overcome the receiver, but obviously I think it's morphing into the tight end having definitely more roles on the field. And I think that's going to keep happening where, obviously the new style of tight end is a more athletic type where they can go out and catch the ball, but also block. And that's just changing from tight ends just being blockers back in the day. So I think the significance of roles will increase for tight ends for sure.
Now, when you look at the transition of game from high school to college, I've been watching a lot of Netflix because they're, in the last couple of months, there hasn't been any sports. So I'm trying to find all these sports documentaries. There's a QB1 documentary where I learned a little bit about Justin Field, who right now plays for Ohio State. He chose to go to, I think it was Georgia, if I'm not mistaken.
He went to Georgia, then obviously, like you said, transferred to Ohio State. He was the number 1 quarterback recruit in 2017.
And I got to learn a lot about these high school kids and really the transition of the game and understanding the coaches and the way they train the coaches, typically pushing the kids to a totally different limit when you go to college. When you look at your style of game, and I ask this to a lot of tight ends and wide receivers, do you see your style of game fitting college football and then possibly going to the NFL? Because some guys tell me, yes, they do, and then all of a sudden you watch them play college ball and they're all over the place. Now, I ask you this because we've interviewed a lot of tight ends, and they're very confident about themselves, and I want to know your thoughts to your position. If when you get to Oregon State and you have the opportunity to play, do you see yourself as a typical blocking, big-time playmaking tight end, or do you see yourself your strengths to be blocking and being half a good catcher? I don't know. I mean, where do you see yourself as a tight end?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think something that I've always kind of liked to enter into a competition is kind of take it, not with a chip on my shoulder, but feeling like I have something to prove. And obviously, I think for me, just watching college football and observing other people in high school, I will do whatever I can to compete at the highest level and give my full effort. And I won't be satisfied if I'm not giving my full effort, obviously. And I think for me, my ultimate goal is obviously to help Oregon State win as many football games as possible. And I want to win every single game. And I think the reality of that is obviously as a freshman, I don't know what the coaches have in store for me. I know they haven't even really seen me work out for them yet, but I'm going to do whatever I can to get onto the field and contribute in any way they need me to. And obviously, personally, I do feel like I can contribute in an offensive way and in a way of blocking and going out and catching the ball. And obviously, whatever they need me to do, I'm willing to do. And I just want to keep expanding my game as I get older as well.
You're entering a conference in the Pac-12 that is notorious for having a lot of parity. There's really no obvious teams in the Pac-12. They used to be USC and Oregon. They had their stretches where they were one of the best teams in college football. Now there's really no obvious team, but they have these great games. They have these Pac-12 After Dark games that are crazy, and there's a lot of parity throughout the conference. Is that something you're looking forward to, playing these wild competitive games?
Absolutely. And that's something I'm so grateful for to be a part of because living on the West Coast and growing up on the West Coast, it's a lot of Pac-12 football that I go and watch. And all the college football I've watched in person has been Pac-12, and it's just such a great atmosphere and definitely something I've always dreamed of being a part of. And I'm so grateful to be able to do that for the next 4 years. And I think, obviously, hopefully there will be crowds at one point in the near future. And that's something that's really cool too, is running out of the tunnel to having a huge crowd behind you and playing in those electric games. And I think that's something that every athlete definitely dreams of. And that's something I've been dreaming of for a long time.
As you guys know, we are talking to Oregon State tight end recruit JT Byrne. Now, JT, a lot of fans will probably want to know what type of person are you? Are you a funny guy? Are you trickster in the locker room. What kind of person are you that the fans in Oregon State is going to look forward to seeing on the field?
Yeah, I think something I definitely like to pride myself on is I love, just being with my teammates and making connections. That's a big thing for me. I'm going to be the hardest working person I can be, and I'm going to try to be the best teammate I can be. And I do pride myself on, being a nice person, but obviously when I get on the field, like I'm trying to win games, and I think my competitiveness will show on the field, but obviously I really am just really excited to make a lot of connections with people there and build relationships and just be with my teammates and joke around with my teammates and have a good time.
You have any hobbies? Something that the fans could get to? Do you like to dance? How's that? Do you like to dance?
Yes, love dancing.
Really? You love to dance?
Yeah.
What kind of music?
I was so bummed we didn't have our prom this year, man. And
Really?
hopefully we have it this year because I was ready to break it down.
Really? What would you trying to break down? I want to know what kind of music you like to listen to first, and then tell me how do you break down a dance style? Give me something that you do that will really surprise fans.
I think nothing like extreme. Like if I did a cartwheel, I would probably quit all sports and just go to gymnastics. But I think obviously I like whatever trending music is happening right now, and I'm kind of into rap and hip hop.
Oh yeah, who's your favorite artist? Give me some artists.
Oh, I like Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
He's probably up there, yeah. So he's probably my man. Whenever he comes on in the at the school dances, I get fired up, man. So.
Well, hopefully you're not a Little Baby fan or one of these little guys, Little Zane or whatever they call themselves.
There's too many littles to keep track of. I gotta go with the actual name, Kendrick Lamar.
Any other artists? Do you like Biggie Smalls, Tupac Shakur? What do you like?
So I think Kendrick Lamar is kind of a pregame guy for me, but also just kind of when I'm doing my homework or kind of just chilling at the house, going for a run. Post Malone has been big for me.
I like Post Malone too. Great.
Yeah, great artist.
I will tell you this, JT. I actually went to a concert about a year and a half ago. I actually was working the area of press over there. Post Malone is one of the kindest, coolest people you'll ever meet. He really is. And I've met a lot of people in this business because I am a DJ and I've been around in many different places around the country, and I had the opportunity to meet a lot of great artists. Drake being one of them, Weeknd being another. I know a lot of people in the business. So is there a particular artist that you would like to meet or a particular movie star you would like to meet in the future?
Yeah, I think for me, like from a music artist, I've always liked the persona of Justin Timberlake. Also, his initials are JT too. So I just think he's a really cool dude. I think he's kind of the dude that, he's a really personable guy, and that's someone I really want to talk to. And then from a movie star, that's tough, man.
Justin Timberlake, he's a movie star.
I think Russell Crowe, if I had to meet anyone.
I love Russell Crowe, too, so we have something in common. Gladiator, one of my favorite.
That's the movie.
Are you not entertained yet? But
exactly.
that is a great line, by the way. But I love JT, too, but could you do the bye, bye, bye? Could you dance the bye, bye, bye? Could you do any of that?
You give me a couple hours to learn it, and then
we'd have to see. Maybe I heard TikTok might be closing. I think they might be closing the app. But before they close the app, maybe we get some of our recruits. Maybe Ferguson, the recruit. Terrence Ferguson for Oregon, right?
Yeah, he's going to be your rival.
Your rival. Oregon State, Oregon. You know Terrence Ferguson.
Yeah, make a TikTok with him, man.
There you go.
Pre Oregon State Oregon game.
Well, he's the same size as you. You're both about 6'6", 240 pounds. I think that would be a great competition. You got a ginger versus a dark-headed brown man.
Perfect.
There you go, man.
The Oregon tight end TikTok rivalry.
I would love to see that. Actually, that would be really, really funny. That would really, really be funny.
I got you covered, man. We'll make it happen.
I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to hook you up with Ferguson. So
please do.
I will. I'm going to hook you guys up. We are talking to Oregon State tight end recruit JT Byrne.
You're entering a state now in Oregon that has only one professional team, so they definitely really embrace their college sports well, both with Oregon and Oregon State, where you're going to now. Now, Oregon State, not as big of a football school, more of a baseball school, and women's basketball also very strong there. So, one, how do you think the crowds will be once there are crowds because of that, in terms of the experience of Oregon? And two, do you think Oregon, a city like Portland, something like that, deserves another professional team?
Yeah, so I think obviously I'm somewhat familiar with the area. I went and toured Corvallis a couple weeks ago, and that kind of sealed the deal for me. But something that was really cool when I was touring there is the fan base from that small town. It's really cool, and people seem very dedicated to Oregon State athletics. And obviously, Oregon State's known for their baseball and women's basketball program, but it's also seasonal. So obviously, if in the fall, football is going to be rolling, and I mean, all these fans are going to be wanting to go. And I think based on the hype videos that I've watched or done research on Oregon State, it looks like it gets thumping in that stadium for sure, and a really good fan base, and it seems like it's really close to home too, which is cool for me because I want to be able to finish a game and go into the town the next day and talk to fans and get to know them and build that relationship with them as well. And then going to your second question, I think obviously, I mean, the success of the Portland Trailblazers, that's a great fan base. They're a great team. I think they're definitely deserving of another team, whether that's baseball or football. I think that would be huge. And I think the fans in Oregon, obviously you can see how dedicated they are to Oregon State and Oregon and Portland. I think they would definitely embrace another major sports team for sure.
Do you see yourself playing professional football after college?
That is definitely a dream for me. And I've kind of my goal is obviously take each step, live in the moment, take each step day by day. And obviously I'm thinking about college football, but I think that definitely, knowing my competitive nature and my passion of football, I want to play at the highest level I can.
Well, with your size and your speed and your ability, you can do that. We've seen Gronkowski do. Like I said, the tight ends are a lot bigger, a lot stronger, a lot faster now. You have tight ends running a 4.7, 4.6 now. It's incredible the athletic ability some of you guys have. It's really absolutely incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of great tight ends to look up to for sure. And try to mimic their game as best as you can, because obviously, obviously I'm a Bay Area guy, and I watch George Kittle all the time, and that dude knows what he's doing every play. He doesn't take a play off. He's a great guy off the field as well. I mean, he's just someone to definitely look up to and try to play like, because he goes down and he's their main playmaker. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're going to throw the ball to anyone on that team, you throw it to Kittle.
Well, I just want to say this. Hopefully, when you do come into the NFL, you do not go to the New England Patriots. I do not want to see that. I mean, here in New York, I've seen enough of the New England Patriots dominating. One of my favorite players in the NFL goes to the Patriots because nobody signed him. Nobody brings in a Pro Bowl MVP caliber player except the New England Patriots. And I'm talking about Cam Newton. I'm not happy in the offseason seeing Cam Newton go to the Patriots, including knowing that my New York Jets have an opportunity to be a good team this year with a young quarterback like Sam Darnold. Now, all of a sudden, I got to see Cam Newton every single year. That doesn't make me any happy. I'll tell you that right now, JT.
That kind of came out of nowhere also. But I think, obviously it's going to be a lot different for Belichick and the Patriots to rewrite their whole system for Cam Newton, because he is a polar opposite quarterback of Tom Brady. And I think there's definitely going to be some growing pains there where the New York Jets are on the come up, especially with Sam Darnold and some young guys and some nice acquisitions. Like, it'll be interesting in that division for sure.
Well, your words are very, very nice. But as you know, as the Jet fans sit here today, we're not looking forward to the season because we're not going to have C.J. Mosley because he decided to opt out because of COVID-19. And the Jets, no matter how good they are on a piece of paper, they usually don't show up on the field. So
at least you have a guest that's praising the Jets for once.
I love it.
A lot of them bash the
Jets.
I'm
a fan of yours now. I'm a fan of yours. So there you go. And like I say to all the great recruits that we've interviewed, I love the fact that you guys are confident and you're eager to come on and talk about not only who you are, but the fan fan base and the people that you've interviewed with, and really the schools that you decided to choose from all the other schools. So I really love that about some of you young kids. But we ask silly, crazy questions, okay? And we do this after every single interview. And are you ready for this? Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. So first question, and you have to answer seriously now, my friends.
All right.
Boxers or briefs, and why?
Oh, man. For me, it's briefs. Just definitely from a being comfortable standpoint and being an athlete.
Well, you could say you don't like it hanging to the ground. All right, next question. Favorite snack to eat before a game?
Ooh, pregame. Okay, so it's always. Do you guys know Uncrustables? I think you know Uncrustables. Yeah, maybe the West Coast thing, but those are my thing. Football games, especially before we go on the bus, my mom would run me up like 2 or 3 toasted Uncrustables. Just put them in toaster after you freeze them, so like the jelly's still frozen, but it's toasted on top, and that's my go-to pregame snack.
Well, you're young and you're tall and you're big and you're strong, so it doesn't matter what you eat before games. You're going to still be in pretty good shape.
I think someone else said that a couple of weeks ago. I want to say it was Marcus Bradley.
It was Marcus Bradley.
I think he said the same thing.
It's such a good snack for athletes because you're running all over the place and you just pull them out of the freezer and you got a sandwich.
All right. Third questions. Blondes or brunettes, and why?
Oh, man. Brunettes. I have a beautiful girlfriend, and she's a brunette, and I've always been a brunette guy.
Oh, high school sweethearts. How long you guys been together?
Almost 2 years.
Really? Look at that.
Yeah. She actually kicks for our football team as well.
She what?
Nice.
She kicks for our football team.
Really? Look at that.
Yeah, so we're teammates. It's awesome. I vote for her.
There you go, man. Maybe she'll make the NFL with you, and she'll be the first.
So. She definitely could.
She'll be the first woman field goal kicker in the NFL in NFL history. I would love to see that. I really would.
That'd be awesome.
What is your favorite movie or TV show?
Okay, so hands down, TV show is The Office. I've probably rewatched that series 3 or 4 times, and especially during COVID, it was workout, school, The Office. Like that was my day.
How about your girlfriend? She like that too?
Yeah, she enjoys The Office not as much as I do. I probably annoy her a little bit about it because I always make references to it, but it's all good. It's definitely been like my favorite ever since I got into it. I was like, this is the best show ever, and I just love the humor and the subtle comments. It's just hilarious for me. And I think for a movie, we already talked about this with Gladiator, and that's by far my favorite movie.
Well, me and you have something in common because that's one of my all-time favorite movies. And by the way, as much as I could say, and I had the opportunity at one time to be in the same vicinity as Russell Crowe. He's not one of the nicest guys you'll meet in person, but I love him as an actor. He's not a nice guy.
Great. Interesting. I've actually heard that a little bit. I know, but just the way he acts is just like as an actor, he's the real deal.
What is the stupidest, or that's not the right word. What is the dumbest thing you or your friends have done?
Oh man. That's a good question. Don't worry, I've not done anything illegal. So that's one. But probably me and my buddies, we got some water bottles and some dry ice from Safeway and went to my house and made a dry ice bomb, and it exploded and went right over. The bottle flew over our roof into our driveway. So that's pretty crazy. It was like 11 o'clock at night too, so it probably wasn't the smartest thing to do.
We are echoing, Speedy, by the way, just so you know. Just so you know, Speedy. Anyways, who do you think has the best jersey in the NFL and why?
Like a team, like best colors, team colors. I'm a little biased because I was born in Baltimore, but the Ravens primetime jerseys on Thursdays. Definitely, I'm a little biased because I was born in Baltimore, but the Baltimore Ravens primetime jerseys are sweet.
Tell the fans how they can find you on social media.
Yeah, so my Instagram is JTByrne56, and then my Twitter is JTByrne2. And definitely, obviously, want to make these connections with these fans as soon as possible. And I'm just really excited to be part of the Beaver family. And obviously, thank you guys so much for having me. It was great. It was great being on with you. Absolutely.
And we want to get you on when the season does start. If there is a season, we would love to talk a little bit about Oregon State when the season does start and you start playing some of the teams. And by the way, I do want to get you and Ferguson on a TikTok. That would be really, really funny. I'm going to reach out to Ferguson in the next day or so, and I'm going to reach out to you. I think it would be crazy funny to have you from Oregon State and him from Oregon have a dance-off on TikTok.
Bring it on, man. Bring it on. It'll be Oregon State's first win of many to come, right?
Really?
So, yeah, we're getting ready, man.
All right, man. I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna reach out to Ferguson. We're gonna do a TikTok. He already said he'll do one, but why not have it with two 6'6", 240-pound guys from the playing from in the same state with two separate teams? That would be really, really fun.
We'll go viral for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you, JT.
Thank you guys so much. Have a good one.
You too. JT Byrne, ladies and gentlemen, from Oregon State. Up next, we will have a very special guest. We will be talking to Maryland tight end recruit C.J. Dippre here on Below the Mic.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Six 631-965-4990 is the number. As you know, you can go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. This is Below the Mic, and we're live every single Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. New York Eastern Time. I'd like to thank Oregon State recruit tight end JT Byrne for joining us. We have another special guest, and we're very excited to have him on. We did talk to him off air, and finally we have things working. We're not going to have an echo, ladies and gentlemen. We are fixing the technical difficulties, so bear with us because of the bad hurricane that we had here in New York. We are now talking to Maryland tight end recruit C.J. Dippre. What's up, C.J.?
What's up? How you doing?
We're good. We went from JT to C.J.
Yeah, just two initials, huh?
Yeah, man. I mean, two big guys, star guys at their position. So I'm looking forward to this interview, man.
Yeah.
As you guys know, we ask a lot of questions to these different recruits that we have on the show. And this first question is for me. Why did you choose Maryland? What was the reason behind going to Maryland? Out of all the different recruiting schools that were recruiting you, what made you decide to go to Maryland?
So, I mean, towards the end of the process, I was really between Maryland and Rutgers the entire time. And I love Coach Schiano at Rutgers, and I love Coach Loxley at Maryland. So, I mean, it really came down to when I went to Maryland on my visit, me and Coach Miller, the tight end coach down there, we really clicked. We had a really good connection. You know, he introduced me to his family, walked me around the school, he did all that stuff. So, I mean, just having that feeling at a first introduction to somebody was just it was cool to have. And I just I'd want to be around that for the next 4 years. And I also love their strength and conditioning coach. My dad is who I train with now, and he was powerlifter back in the day and whatnot. So he reminds me a lot of him. So, I mean, it'd just be like I'm moving. Those are the two guys I'm going to be around with most of the time. So I figured I was going to be most comfortable with them.
This is a team in Maryland that just lost their head coach because he was involved in a scandal. He was dehydrating a lot of his players in DJ Durkin 2 years ago. So it's a relatively new coaching staff for Maryland. What was it like in terms of meeting that coaching staff, and how did that help recruit your decision to recruit over Greg Schiano, who has a very high reputation in college football?
So, I mean, Coach Schiano and Coach Loxley are both just coming back to their programs when before in the past, they were both there. Like Coach Loxley was at Maryland before and he left. And same thing with Coach Schiano. He was at Rutgers, and that's when Rutgers was probably in their prime. And now he's back there. So, I mean, this is just Maryland's just got a new staff now. And I really think they're getting ready to rebuild. And my class, the 2021 class, is looking really sharp. I think they're really doing a lot of really good recruiting. And this entire time, we've been in the top 20. I believe when I first committed, we were ranked 13th for my class in the country. And I believe now we're 15th, or we're right around in that mix. So, I mean, I'm just getting to know the guys that are committed to my class, getting to know them, talking to them, and I'm just excited to get down there and meet everybody because I haven't met the entire staff, but I met most of the main guys and guys I'm going to be around. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. I love them all.
Talking about a recruiting class, I've been watching QB1 on Netflix, and I learned a little bit about your new QB, Lance Legendre or something, Legendre, from New Orleans, quarterback, star quarterback over there in New Orleans. Lost in a championship game, but the kid has a tremendous arm, tremendous ability, could be your starting quarterback this coming season. Do you know a little bit about him?
No, we haven't got to talk much. I mean, most of the older guys and stuff like that, I mean, they're getting ready for camp or just starting to be in Maryland. So, I mean, they're getting used to all that stuff. And I mean, obviously with this COVID-19 going around, I mean, they're just starting to get into stuff and getting all their equipment out and starting to do this all team stuff. So, I mean, obviously they're really busy, more than usual right now. So, I mean, it's hard to talk to most of the older guys or the star players. But I talked to a majority of them, but not him yet, actually.
You're entering a conference that is very strong in the Big Ten, probably the second best conference in college football. Some argue it's the best conference in college football. Is that something that fueled you in terms of maybe getting your stock up if you were wanting to go into the NFL, playing against the better opponents? Did that sway your decision in terms of picking Maryland over some of the other schools that you were recruited by?
Definitely, 100%. I mean, as a kid and whatever, you always hear it's either Big Ten or SEC. I mean, SEC-wise, Kentucky shot me an offer to play the field side defensive end. That was my only defensive end offer and my only SEC offer. So, I mean, when they offered me, it opened a lot of eyes, but it was still, Big Ten, Big Ten, Big Ten. And, I mean, just within the staff, Coach Loxley and Coach Miller have both coached at Alabama, and Coach Miller has been at Clemson. So, I mean, Coach Miller's got 4 rings from Alabama and Clemson. So, I mean, he's been in winning programs, and just for me to be in his group all the time it's really just going to bring me out. That's how they train in the best programs in the nation,
We are talking to Maryland tight end recruit CJ Dippre. Now, CJ, the tight end position has become an ultra important position, not only in the NFL and college football. They use them now as wide receivers, 6'6", 6'5" guys that can run a 4.7 or 4.6. When you look at the position as its transition in the NFL and now in college football, where do you see yourself fitting on Maryland?
I mean, right now I'm still in high school, and my freshman year I got pulled up to play in varsity, and I played tight end that year. But then my sophomore and junior season, I've been playing quarterback, and this season I'll probably be moving around tight end, quarterback, whatever they need, man. Whatever is going to get the ball, wherever they need me, wherever coach wants me to put to win the games. It doesn't really matter to me. But I mean, personally, I'm going to play tight end in college, and that's where Maryland wants me. Another tight end commit that's going to Maryland is named Weston Wolf from Florida. So I mean, we've been talking. He's 6'6", 215. So I mean, I'm 6'5", 250. So I mean, we're going to be like a 1-2 punch. He's going to be more of a route runner when I'll be in tight, or he'll be in the slot, I'll be in tight, something like that work.
Mm-hmm. In terms of the versatility you were talking about with different positions, we've seen the tight end position definitely evolve into that, lining up in the backfield, lining up as a wide receiver outside. Can you see yourself doing that type of role if you haven't done it already when you were in high school? And also, I mean, what types of roles do you think you would be involved in with that type of setup if you were told to do so by the coaching staff?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, moving a quarterback to tight end, I mean, it's a little different because you got to get used to running routes and this stuff. But I mean, just playing quarterback, I mean, even on the small high school level, it's definitely really beneficial just because I know where the gaps are going to be in defenses. I see places where quarterbacks want the receiver to be. So, I mean, that's going to help me on a big step. But I've been working this entire COVID-19 stop. So it's 4 or 5 months going now. And, I mean, even before that, I've been working with my trainer, Gary Agelski. He's actually a gym teacher at my school. And he pulled me in when I was in 8th grade, and we've been working quarterback stuff this whole time. But this last whole summer and all that stuff, we've been running routes, doing tight end stuff. So I'm definitely more ahead of the game than I should be if I'm just transferring positions. So, I mean, that's definitely going to help me out,
Well, I ask, by the way, we're talking to CJ Dippre, Maryland tight end recruit. CJ, we look at different positions in the athletic ability of some of these guys. We talked to Devin Kirkwood last week, one of the star DBs right now going to college football, playing for UCLA. We've talked to all these top recruits, and they're very interesting in so many ways, and they all have their different personalities. What stands out for all the fans to know about you? What do you stand? Are you a video game guy? Are you a person that loves music? Do you play the guitar? Do you play other sports besides football? What stands out for fans to know a little bit about you as a person?
Actually, the funny thing is when we started getting shut down, I tried to start playing the guitar because I had one because my sister used to play it. But I gave that up pretty quick. Just my hands were so big, I wasn't able to hold the strings down. It was just hard for me. Actually, behind me, I've got all my track medals back here.
I see that.
Yeah. So my freshman and sophomore year, I'm in PA. I got third. I got third at states for the discus, and in our area, like I've won districts every year. I've played or did track or whatever like that. I really haven't lost. I lost one meet when I was in 8th grade. No one likes excuses, but I was like, I've never been that sick in my life. I was just having a tough day and I lost, but that might have been the one time I've ever lost to this since I've been doing it. But anyway, yeah. So last year I broke my school record by like 15 feet in the disc, and then I got third at states, and then so like this upcoming season, my freshman year for like my class, I was ranked third in the nation. So this year, as a junior, like last spring that got shut down, all the sports and stuff like that, I probably would have, I was on the track to win states and probably go compete at nationals. I got that taken away from me. So, that stinks and all like that. But, that's another sport. I could have easily went to probably any school I wanted to.
How do you think the track element of obviously your body, you ran track, you did discus like you were saying. How do you think, one, that helps you in terms of training for football? And number two, how do you think maybe it does in terms of helping your football skills as a whole? How do you think that transfers?
So, with the throwing events, it's all like I got into doing the Olympic lifts just to get better, like snatches, power cleans, a lot of push presses, a lot of different stuff with dumbbells, working like most all the shoulder joints and everything in the hip. So, I'm really a lot more flexible than I would be if I didn't start doing all those Olympic lifts or doing different types of lifts to help my throwing for track. So that's definitely going to help me. And actually, this last year, I did indoor track. And I ran the 55 meter because I was planning to run the 100 this year. And I ran a 7:13, which I was ranked 20th in the state for that. And I didn't train for it or anything. I just ran it for fun.
As you guys know, we are talking to Maryland tight end recruit CJ Dippre. Now, CJ, we talk about the tight end position and the wide receiving position, and now the NFL has really transitioned the game. Now we see tight ends playing wide receivers and wide receivers actually playing tight end. Now, you look at the college game, a spread offense. It's a completely different game from the NFL. All you have to do is get 1 foot in and you can get a touchdown. From the NFL, you need 2 feet in. When you see the transition of the game from high school to college, what is the difference between both college and high school football?
Obviously, the big one is definitely college. It's a lot faster pace. You're moving. You got something to play for. In high school, you got something to play for, but when some guys are on the team, maybe just wanting to wear the jersey or be part of something, that's their destiny, But college, everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to be there. Everyone wants to work, and everyone wants to make it to the next level. Besides for high school, when some people aren't planning on going to college, when in college, everyone's trying to make it to the league,
I asked this to our first guest, also a tight end recruit, in JT Byrne. I asked him if he thinks that the tight end position could surpass the wide receiver position in terms of importance, either in college football or in the NFL. Do you think that is the case?
I think 100% that is the case, especially I think in the NFL. In college, I think in college, I love watching college football. It's probably better than watching an NFL just in terms of everyone's got something to play for. When in the NFL, some people may be playing for the money. Right? That's not really the case, but just something like that. And I think the tight end position, it's a really unfair position to guard on the defense, especially if you got a good framed guy that can move and do everything like that. Because you should be faster than a linebacker and taller than a corner. So how are you going to guard him? If you got a good enough guy.
As you guys know, we are talking to Maryland tight end recruit CJ Dippre. CJ, now I asked this to a lot of different recruits. What type of music do you like, and are you a dancer? Are you a guy that likes to break it down?
Nah, if I was somewhere out with a couple guys or at a semi or something like that, I just give my little sway. I won't do anything to attract all the attention like that.
You don't have swag? Come on, man. Come on, you have swag.
I'm already one of the. I got the swag, obviously. But, I'm already so tall. I got so much attention looking at me. I don't need to be busting any moves or tearing something on the dance floor for God's sake, But music. I got a couple of different type of genres. If I was just hanging out myself, going for a ride in my Jeep, I'm probably just listening to some country music, doing something like that. Because I live in the country. But usually like before my lifts or before the games, I'll try to listen to more of a speech kind of music than like actual just rap.
So country music. I don't know much about country. Now we've had NFL recruits, and what I mean by that, NFL future draft picks. We've also had MLB players that were signed by the Yankees. We've had all different people on our show, and I've asked them, and a lot of them say country, and I'm not a country fan. I actually am a DJ out here in New York. I've traveled all around the country, spinning all different styles of music, but I'm not a country fan. What kind of country music do you like? Because all you recruits and all the different people that we've had, all the different athletes, they give me certain, I guess, country singers, and I never heard of them. So tell me some country music that you like. And is it real country music or is country pop?
So, I guess it'd just be feeling on a day. Like, I do listen to some country pop, and mostly I like the hard country, like the actual country living and stuff that, brings out that kind of stuff.
Give me an artist.
Like Mud. I listen to he's kind of both ways. Luke Bryan.
Okay.
Jake Owens, I listen to him a lot.
Oh, you love it. I know why you love going and listen to country music. You probably like to go to country concerts because all the women love country. That's what it is.
Oh, the jean shorts and the high boots. What are you talking about, man? That's where you got to go.
Well, I know, man. I the one thing I've always wanted to do was go to a country concert because every single person I know that have gone to a country concert tells me the women over there are unbelievable. Unbelievable. So country music and women, it all fits. Now I know why you listen to country music.
Well, yeah. It's all the vibe, I guess. You go to a pop concert, you got everyone swarming, making mosh pits and all this stuff. You're getting bounced around, and it's just like a crazy nut house in there. Like up at a country concert, everyone's growing up in their trucks or whatever they got. Everyone's dressed in all flannels, jeans and whatnot. And you're just hanging out. It's more like a get together and just hanging out with people more than just everyone just all bouncing around. So it's more relaxing than a pop concert.
All right, your favorite game you ever played in and the craziest game you've ever played in.
That's a tough one. Craziest game I ever played in was my sophomore year. It was the first game of the playoffs, and it was raining so bad, storming. I think it was for almost 2 days straight, and our field was a mess. When I mean a mess, you would step and your foot will go literally 2 or 3 inches into the ground. It was disgusting. It was probably we shouldn't even have been playing on that, but it's whatever. And so we went to overtime with this team, and we were down on the goal line, and the ball was just so muddy. No one's throwing the ball all game. So the first play, so in high school you start at the 10-yard line, I believe, and you get 4 plays to go in and whatever like that, and you keep swapping. And then so our first play we threw a play action pass, and we got down to the 4. And then the second play I fumbled the snap. I got it, but I fumbled the snap. I just wasn't able to grab it. And then the play we scored on was 3rd down, and our running back took it, and he just got all bumbled up, and then one of our linemen literally grabbed him and heaved him in the air into the end zone, and we won on that play. And it was crazy. Everyone's sliding 15 feet through the mud down the field. Everyone's throwing mud at each other's faces. And we actually had this one kid on our team. He's a big clown, but anyway, he was you see him, he didn't really play that much. He was more just a friendly guy. He was our hype guy. You see him over on the sideline, picking up the mud, rubbing it on his pants. It looked like he was in and stuff like that. That was crazy times, and that was a good time. That was a good game.
We are talking to Maryland tight end recruit C.J. Dippre. Now, C.J., off air, you told me you like baseball somewhat, and you're a Yankee fan. Am I right?
Yeah, if I have to call myself a fan, it'd probably be the Yankees.
All right, so I'm going to ask you a couple of Yankee questions. We'll see if you can get it right.
Nah, man, I'll never get this
all right,
right.
Hold on. Who led the Yankees in home runs last year?
It was a Judge?
Nope. I'll give you another guess.
I have no clue. He might be the only guy I know on the team. I like playing the sport. Like, I haven't played in a while just because I did track and field, but like, I love the sport. Actually, last September, I haven't played since I was like 10. So this is like 8 years prior since I've actually played a baseball game. Like soft toss, I hit over a home run fence into the woods. Like, it was amazing. Like, all the kids I was with were going crazy and whatnot. I mean, that's part of the fact. But anyway, yeah, baseball, like, I don't really watch it. I like playing the game. I like watching high school games. But once it gets like the MLB, there's a game on every day. It's like I can't keep up with that stuff.
Do you know who the Yankees manager is?
No clue. That's why, like, I'm not a diehard Yankees fan. I just like.
I got it.
Yankees.
I got it.
Yankees, you know.
It's the Yankees. I got you.
Like, if I was playing MLB on the PS4, like, I'd pick the Yankees. Like, that's just who I'd be.
Speaking of video games, obviously you play video games because you have a headset. You have a video game headset. What is your favorite video game and why?
I mean, Madden's probably one of my favorites, but like currently, like Call of Duty Warzone's my favorite game. I'm grinding that game all my free time just because, I mean, like, I just love it. It's like, you know, you get the shooting games or whatever like that, and it's like I can like just play it, and like that's like the one shooting game I can play that it like doesn't stress me out. Like, if I die, I die. It's whatever. I'll just load into another game. Otherwise, I'll be throwing my remote, doing this, doing that. But
I'm like that too. That's why I don't play. That's why I don't play.
Yeah.
I don't play gun games, man, because it seems like every time I play online with my friends, they come behind me and shoot me in the back of the head. So I don't play gun games. It's not my thing. But I bet you when you play the Madden game, you've made, you know, you go into player mode and you try to make yourself, right? You make.
Oh yeah.
I know you're that type of person. I know.
You know, you deck them out with the sleeves, the towels, the smoked visor, all that stuff to get them going like that.
As you guys know, we are talking to Maryland tight end recruit C.J. Dippre.
Now, when you do play Madden, is this a whole team thing? Is this something that you've done with your high school teammates, even some of the recruits you've done, and even some of the other games you were mentioning? Is that something you do with collectively a group of people? You like playing it on your own? What type of modes and what types of setups do you like with those games?
Yeah, I usually play with a couple of the guys, not small on my team this year, but graduated last year. A couple of my close buddies.
Give him a shout out. Give him a shout out.
Oh, he's probably watching. Antonio Natale and Chris Abrowski. I mean, that's who usually I'm playing with because, I mean, we're all just like, we're chill about it. It's not like one person's like a sweatshop and they're just like destroying everyone. We're all just like, we're kind of good but kind of garbage at the same time. We're none of us are consistent. We just play, you know. When we catch on our good day, then we're just straight ballers. Like, we go hard at it.
Oh, all right. So we do this with all the recruits, all the different guests that we have on the show. We ask you silly questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. First question. Boxers or briefs and why?
Like just wearing around or like in a game?
Anything. Wearing them around. Why would you choose boxers or briefs?
All right, I'm probably going to go with the briefs just because they're more comfort. I'm always doing active stuff. So, like, I'm always like, I'll just go play basketball out in the middle of the day for no reason with my buddies or go do something. I can't do it in boxes. I can't get that chafe, man.
I haven't heard that word yet. Anyways, as you guys know, we are talking to Maryland tight end recruit C.J. Dippre. Second question, favorite snack to eat before a game?
Oh, I really don't snack. You know, I'm like 2% body fat. I'm
sorry.
I'm kidding. I'm playing with it. All right, before a game, my favorite snack would probably, like, honestly, it'd be those little Gatorade gummies, like the gummy. Okay. Oh, my God, they're fire. They're so good.
Well, I'll tell you this. Devin Kirkwood, who is the 13th ranked best player in the country, recruit, we had a conversation, and during the interview, I told him that if he has 4 interceptions, if there is a season next year, I will send him a 6-month I guess, what did I tell him?
Supply.
6 months supply of gummy bears, which is his favorite snack to chew on. So I am going to send him 6 months of supply of gummy bears if he gets 4 or more interceptions in his first year. So
that's nuts.
This is what I'm going to do for you. If you score in your first year at Maryland, if you play, you score 2 touchdowns, I will send you 2 months supply of those gummies. What are they called again?
They're like the Gatorade gummies. They come in these little packs. They're like
Gatorade
square. Like I don't know the actual name. They're probably called Gatorade gummies.
Well, I'm gonna write it down.
Yeah,
I put it on list. And if you score more than 2 touchdowns your first year at Maryland, I will send you a 2-month supply of Gatorade gummies. How's that sound?
Jeez, I better start calling Coach Miller right now. Give me that ball in the end zone, man. Like I gotta get them gummies.
Well, Devin almost had a heart attack. He was like dancing around. You should have saw it. It was hilarious. Anyways, third question. Brunettes or blondes, and why?
I'm going to have to go with blondes just because, like, all my girlfriends have been blondes. I don't, like, it's not just, like, a coincidence. It just is, though. Like, I have no clue. Like, I don't know. It just, blondes is my way. Blondes point out the country in me. Like, I'll put it that way.
Oh, because you like them in their little short shorts and their
yes, sir.
cowboy boots and their cowboy hats.
Yep.
Oh man, we're gonna see CJ at one of these country concerts over here on Long Island. I will have to invite you because we actually have a show on JVC Media, JVC Broadcasting FM dial. They do a lot of country concerts out in the Hamptons. And if they have one, it won't be this year. Next year, maybe we'll invite you down here with you and your boys and be our guests.
Oh, my God. I'll pull right up. I'll buy a brand new pair of boots. My one friend, actually, you ever see the movie Dukes of Hazzard?
Of course.
He's got, like, these orange boots, and it's got all the writing all over it. Like, it's the exact boots. Like, it's fun. Like, they're so cool. But, yeah, I talked to the one girl that's at Maryland. She takes, like, the photos for the team. And then I talked to –
Of course you have.
Yeah. I'm pretty good friends with Dino Tomlin.
Okay.
And I've been talking to them, and, like, they don't play country down there. I was like, well, I'm going to bring it. Like, I'm not going to not listen to country because I'm down by Baltimore. Like, I'll be blasting that stuff going down the road.
You're a smooth guy, man. I know what you were doing. I know what you're doing over there, man. As you guys know, we are talking to Maryland tight end recruit CJ Dippre. Fourth question. What is your favorite movie and TV show?
My favorite TV show is probably it's probably Friends, just because, like, I don't know, I watched a lot. It's always on TV at night, so, like, if I'm not sleeping at like 2:00 in the morning, I'll look over the TV and be on. So I mean,
Who's your favorite actor in that TV show?
Probably Joey.
Really? I like Courtney Cox. I just like looking at her.
My buddies, I was just talking about Antonio and Chris. We actually, like, our parents say that like we're those three, Ross, Chandler, and Joey. Like, that's just who we are.
Oh my God!
I'm Joey. That's who I am. So that's why I like him. That's what they think I am.
Joey's the crazy, stupid one.
he's the ladies' man. That's what he is.
Oh, that's what it is. I'm going to call you Smooth. Your new name should be CJ Smooth Dippre.
CJ Smooth.
Smooth.
I'll change that. I'll post it on Instagram.
I'm telling you, you should be called
Smooth.
You should be called Smooth. I see how you are, man. I see how you are. Favorite movie?
That's a tough one. Definitely a sports movie. Probably Coach Carter, Varsity Blues, or Friday Night Lights. One of them.
Okay.
I love Coach Carter.
I love Varsity Blues, so there you go.
Speaking of Varsity Blues, I was watching the other day. Anyway, my buddy actually, one of the linemen on the team, like, he's big in the country like that. So, like, he's got the number on the sides of his car like Billy Bob did. He's got, like, one of the beater Jeeps. He's got it. It's so cool. I told him he should put, like, Cross Bob on the top because that's his name.
Well, you tell him to get a pig. That's what you got.
Yeah.
Get a little hog and carry him around as a dog. That's what he.
Yeah.
But I was a Tweeter fan in the movie.
Yo, you kind of look like him now that I'm.
Get out of here! Get out of here! I'm a huge Tweeter fan, but what is the dumbest thing you and your friends have ever done?
Ooh, that's a tough one. My dad's probably listening to this too, and he knows what it is, but I don't know if I could say it on here. So let me think of something else.
You can say it on here. It's okay.
I don't know. I got in trouble for doing something pretty bad a while ago, but I won't name that one. I'll put this one in. Like we went out like taking street signs one time. So like my basement downstairs, like we have like a huge basement, whatever. Like signs throughout the entire walls. Like I'm saying, there's no room for another sign. Like there's so many signs up on the walls downstairs. That's just what we do.
That's a felony, you know.
Oh, I know. That's why. Well, we got a couple of them, and then I bought a couple at the scrapyard stuff. Like it's not like we didn't.
It's
go,
okay.
Like,
it's okay,
streets,
man.
You know?
No, nobody's gonna get you arrested. Don't worry.
Yeah, the other one, we got to keep that one in the pocket.
The Astros got away with it, so can he.
As you guys know, well, that's true too. I mean, they get away with a lot of things, especially with Rob Manfred running the league. Anyways, we are talking to Maryland tight end recruit C.J. Dippre. Last one. Who do you think has the best jersey in the NFL and why?
Best jersey is I'm gonna go with the Raiders white on white, just because like I feel those jerseys. But helmet wise, I'm gonna have to go with the one Jacksonville Jaguars one where it's got like it's all mixed in. Like I think that's so dope.
The new one or the old one?
The new one.
The new one. Okay.
Yeah.
Who do you root for? Are you a Pittsburgh Steelers fan?
Yeah, I'm a Steelers fan.
I knew you were a Steelers fan. You said you were from PA, so you had to be a Steelers fan. Well, growing up, who was the guy you looked up to?
I always loved Lamar Woodley. Like he was just like my boy, I guess. Yeah, I like every time I was on Madden, I was always like user lock him and play with him. I loved him. Yeah, he was cool.
Years and years ago, I actually had the opportunity to interview Lamar Woodley, and Lamar Woodley is one of the coolest down to earth people you'll ever talk to. He really is one of the coolest down to earth people you ever. Out of all the athletes I've ever met, and I've met a lot of athletes, he stood out of all the different defensive linemen that I've met. He was the guy that stood out to me.
Yeah.
So I like Lamar.
That's interesting because he was very fiery on the field, too.
Yeah. And you wouldn't even know that. When you talk to him, he was very calm, collective. He wasn't very loud. You know what I mean? Because you interview like Ben Roethlisberger, he's a guy that I had problems interviewing. He didn't like to answer any of my questions. So that's Big Ben for you. So he likes the party. He likes the party. That's for sure. Maybe when you get into the NFL, when he retires, you can learn a thing or two for him going out and partying with him. There you go.
Yeah, party with him. He's partying. He's eating. Like he looks like a left tackle. He's supposed to be a quarterback. Like I don't even know what that is anymore. He looks like Brett Kiesel. Like that's what he looks like now. He's just like gone.
Do you think he could ever get that beard?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, that was pretty funny. We'll post that on social media.
Yeah, until he asks me. If he asks me, I'll be like, yo, you're going to talk to me? What's up, man? I was like, yo, give me a shout-out. Like, that's exactly what I would say to him.
If you were ever paid a six-figure money amount to grow Brett Kiesel's beard and have it for a full season, would you do it?
Oh, I would definitely. 100%.
Well, CJ, if you actually
had a little facial thing going on. I shaved my beard and I had my mustache growing for a little bit.
Oh my God!
To see what people. So like it wasn't serious.
Freddie Mercury.
I pulled it out for like football, and I just had my little mustache going at football and stuff like that. I shaved it.
We'll call you Freddie, okay? We'll just call you Freddie.
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury.
Smooth. Freddie Smooth.
Freddie Smooth. I know. I like Smooth. I like CJ Smooth Dippre because I could see you're a very smooth guy. The first person he talked to when he went to Maryland was a woman, and he made sure that she stood out of everybody because she's the photographer. That's why he talked to her.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you know why he was speaking to her. Wink, wink. Yeah, I know your type, man. That's okay. I'm your type, man. I like to go out there and be smooth too. But people don't call me smooth. They call me idiot. Okay, so I'm a jackass. But if you actually follow us on Snapchat, you would see what I do to this guy right over here.
I am tortured.
I torture him. After the show, fans actually follow us on Snapchat. So what I do is I ask him really ridiculous, silly questions, and he actually sits and actually thinks about the questions when I ask him. And I'm talking about outlandish, crazy, disgusting questions. So if you ever want to watch a crazy Snapchat, follow us. It's really, really funny. So
yeah, I have to.
Anyways, before we let you go, how could the fans find you on social media?
My Snapchat, CJ_Dippre. my Instagram, CJ_Dippre18. And like my Twitter, I don't even know what it is. It's probably something along those lines. It's probably just CJ Dippre18.
Well,
I don't even know what it is.
You gotta change it to CJ Smooth Dippre. That's what
I don't know if you could change your usernames. Otherwise, I would. I'll just put it in my bio. I'll put that in my bio.
I'm telling you, man. Smooth is your name. Are you following us on social media?
On Twitter, I am.
You got to follow us on Instagram. I mean, I'll tell you, man, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, but I'll tell you this. I don't go on social media. Everybody tells me, everybody yells at me. I'm in this business, and we have a show on an FM dial. Me and Eric Coleman from the New York Jets organization. We do a show every single Saturday on the FM dial here on 103.9. The LI News Radio Network. And everybody tells me, well, why don't you tell everybody how they can find you on social media? I say, why? I never go on. But I'm starting to go on a little bit more so people can get to know me a little bit because I am a little outlandish and crazy. So I do a lot of things. Just like you, I'm a little bit older than you. So I'm 38 years old, but I don't act like a 38-year-old when I go out. So I act like a crazy lunatic, like a college kid. I do stupid things. If you dare me to do something, and I don't even drink. I don't even have to drink.
That's true. He only drinks once a year.
I drink once a year. That's all I do. But I could go out and people think that I'm on something. I'm drunk or something. I don't know what it is, but I have a lot of fun. And I definitely, if we have, if next year the COVID-19 is gone, there is a lot of country concerts out in the Hamptons, and they throw a big country concert, JVC Media, and we're part of the JVC Media family. I'll invite you and your 2 or 3 of your best friends to come out here, be our guests, and get to, experience the country music out here.
Oh, that's awesome. I would definitely pull out to that. I mean, I'd have to take my Jeep. It'd probably take me $150 on gas to get there.
No. In PA? No way. No way.
That thing eats gas. It is so bad. You go over 65 and you see the little gas pedometer going down. It's crazy.
Oh, why did you tell your mom and dad to buy you that, Dad?
I just always wanted a Jeep, so I figured I might as well get one.
What year is your Jeep? What year is your Jeep?
No, 09.
09. Okay, all right. Well, then you're going to have to jump into one of your friend's cars and come down here. But
I'll make them drive for the ticket. I'll make them drive.
There you go. You can take the train.
I'll sleep in the back.
There you go. Nice. There you go. No ticket. I'll get you in as a VIP special guest, and you get to meet whoever's going to be there. Last year, I think Luke Bryan was here. A couple of people were here. So
he'll bring the Gatorade gummies with it.
VIP special guest. I'll just dress up. Give me a guitar. I'll go out there for you. I'll sponsor you.
Well, you could be a little smooth. Just don't do anything stupid to embarrass us. No, actually, I want you to do something stupid to embarrass us.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Anyway, CJ, thank you for joining us, my friend.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. CJ, you were great. And if there is a season next year when Maryland starts, I would love to get you on when the season starts.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. Thank you, CJ. As you guys know, we were just talking to tight end recruit CJ Dippre. Great kid.
Yes,
great kid.
Definitely a great kid. Gatorade gummies. That's a very interesting one.
I'm going to help him out. I'm going to hook him up. If he scores 2 or more touchdowns, I will give him 2 months supply of Gatorade gummies. I'm gonna be owing a lot of people a lot of different things.
A lot of gummies between all of you.
I like Devin Kirkwood. I like him. I like CJ too. I love JT too.
You might need to stock up on the Uncrustables. Between the Uncrustables and the gummies, you're gonna have to stock up a lot of.
I didn't get a chance to offer him anything, but I like JT. He was a really, really nice kid, and CJ is definitely a different personality. Definitely did.
Definitely.
Before we go, I do want to get into the NHL season, and for all you Ranger fans that sit here and tell me that the Rangers are a better team than the New York Islanders, did anybody watch the series against the Carolina Hurricanes? I've been telling all the Ranger fans for months, you are not going to win championships with a defense that bad. And what happened in that series against the Carolina Hurricanes? They couldn't stop a lick. And I understand everybody's going to say, well, Henrik Lundqvist is old. Henrik Lundqvist was the only player that actually showed up in the games. He was the only one.
Yeah,
Panarin, your superstar player. How many goals did he have?
I think he had one in game 2.
One goal. How about Zibanejad? How many goals did he have?
I think 2.
2 goals in 3 games, okay? This is your superstar players that you're paying big bucks to. How about your defensive players? Did Fox show up in that series?
He was okay, but he wasn't as good as he normally was in the regular season. The one that actually stepped up and played well was Lindgren. He was one of the few that actually was consistent, but beyond that, they really got nothing.
They played terrible. And all you Ranger fans, and you love taking shots at the Islander fans. And by the way, I made a bet with a girl in my class, in my job in Mather Hospital, and she told me that the Rangers were going to get into the round robin. And I said the Islanders have a better chance of getting in the round robin, out of the round robin against the Florida Panthers than the Rangers against the Hurricanes. I picked the Carolina Panthers to go all the way to the Stanley Cup. I'm sorry, the Carolina Hurricanes to go all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. I believe they're that good. They have that much depth. They have the goaltending. They have the coaching. Rob Brindamore, who I wasn't a big fan of. I've never been a big fan of. And I actually was in the same hotel room as he was in Dallas 2 years ago at the draft. And we were in the elevator, and I remember Anthony LaRocca telling me, standing right next to me, "That's Rob Brindamore." And I said, "Yeah, I know." And I said, just because you said that, he heard every single thing that you said. We are in a 5x5 square of an elevator, and you think you can't hear you'd say that? I mean, seriously. Also, Stevie Yzerman was a big, an ass, too, at the draft in Dallas. I didn't like Stevie Yzerman. He wasn't a very nice guy.
I mean, he's a tough GM. I didn't know what he was personality.
He's an ass, an absolute ass. But I do not think the Rangers are the Rangers are 2, 3, possibly 4 years away from being a Stanley Cup competitive team. I was very surprised they didn't go with another goaltender in the third game, especially in the second game. Henrik Lundqvist in the third period gave up a bad goal. I was very surprised that they kept Henrik Lundqvist in, but I do believe this will be the last time you see Henrik Lundqvist in a Ranger jersey.
Really?
Yes.
You think he's going to retire?
I think he's going to trade. I think he's going to retire. Uh-huh. I think he's going to retire. Well, who's impressed you so far in the NHL playoffs?
I think the biggest one is the one that I think both of us were shocked about. It has to be the Coyotes. I mean, they've played very well against a Nashville team that's way more talented than them, and they've played well early in the first period and late in the third period, showing they could do both. And they're a lot more physical than I gave them credit for. I know Mikey C was telling me a lot throughout the year about they have young talent with some of their forwards. They have forwards that can hit and stuff like that. I didn't think it would be this good, though, especially
after all these years of being bad.
Yeah, especially to a Nashville team that's a big team. It's not like they're a small team and they're getting bullied around. The Coyotes are right with the Predators in terms of the physicality, and it's very impressive to see. And it's interesting. They're another team, like we were talking about the Rangers. Like, you wonder what their goalie situation was like because you saw Saros in Game 1. You've seen Pekka at times. Pekka had a down year, so that's probably why they ended up starting Saros. But Nashville, you wonder if that decision to file Laviolette's going to really bite them big time if they go out in the first round like
this. It's big time. First of all, I don't understand why they fired Peter Laviolette. This is a guy that took you to the Stanley Cup Finals, 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. The reasoning behind it made absolutely no sense, but over the years, everybody that knows Peter Laviolette, and I'm one of them because I am an Islander fan, Peter Laviolette has really unwelcomed himself everywhere he's gone. So he's a great coach. I think he's very soft-spoken. I think he has his own thoughts to an organization and how the organization should be run, and that's why he's no longer the Predators' head coach. So, it's been very impressive to me, Montreal against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
They've been very impressive, especially with Carey Price. I don't know if they could shock the world and knock Pittsburgh out. I don't know if that's going to happen. But
yeah, that's going to be tough with not a lot of offensive depth because it's not like the Penguins are any slouches with their goaltenders either.
And the Chicago Blackhawks, which I picked to get out of get into the round robin.
Qualifiers, yeah.
Yeah, the qualifiers. Mm-hmm. So what is it?
It's 1-1 right now.
1-1. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and I think Chicago has a very good chance to come out of this series, a series that nobody thought they had a chance to win.
Yeah, that one has been the one high-scoring series. We've seen a lot of low-scoring series for the most part throughout the Eastern Conference and even some other series in the West. But that's the one that's been a shootout so far between those two teams. It was 6-4 in the first game. I think it was 6-3 in the second game. The Oilers had a barrage in the third period. We were watching the first two periods here, and then they had a barrage in the third period after that and really took control of that one. So that's one's going to be a high-scoring series. And those two goaltenders, they've swapped out a lot between Crawford for the Blackhawks and then Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen for the Oilers. They've all had their issues so far, which is weird because both Crawford and Smith are notoriously good playoff goalies.
Mm-hmm. And the Maple Leafs, who finally won a game, okay? Every Maple Leaf fan is jumping around like, oh, we won a game.
Well, they always lose the elimination game. If it's tiebreaker game,
it's now 1-1. It's now 1-1, but I will say this. they are not winning that series.
No, I don't.
They are not winning that series. The fact that they won 3-0 on Tuesday was a surprise to me. I do not see that happening in the next game. I think the Blue Jackets are the better team, and I just want to see the Maple Leafs lose every single time they play. I can't stand John Tavares.
I remember that. That is still the most mad I've ever seen you on air was that day, July 2nd.
You remember that, huh?
I remember that very well. I think it was still 3rd and long. It was the old setup of 3rd and long where with Matt and Vinny was producing that. I was sitting across from you. I'd never seen you so mad to how furious you were when Tavares bailed on the Islanders for the Leafs.
Well, the reason why I was so upset, by the way, if anybody doesn't know, the reason why I was upset, not the fact that he left the Islanders, he practically threw the Islanders under the bus. The Islanders came to him at the trade deadline and asked him, are you planning to stay here? Are you going to re-sign with us, or are you planning to leave? He told the Islanders, I want to stick around. I want to stay here. I want to be an Islander for life. All of a sudden, after the season ends, you're hearing stories that he's interested in going to this team, to San Jose. Then it was Toronto. Then you heard other things, to St. Louis, possibly Tampa. All these Stamkos wanted to play with Stamkos, and all of a sudden you hear that I believe he had this plan for months before the season was over, because his future wife became a nurse in Toronto. And his family's from Toronto. He grew up a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, and he took less money to go to Toronto.
Right, the Sharks gave him the most offer. I think it was like $13.4 million.
Yeah, and the Islanders gave him the second best offer, and he decided to go to the lowest offer, $70-80 million, to go to the Maple Leafs. So he screwed the Islanders. The Islanders could have gotten something back from the Maple Leafs, possibly a first round and a fourth round. Instead, he didn't want the Maple Leafs to lose any assets, so he screwed the Islanders. And not only should he be booed, he should never be even thought of as an Islander. And by the way, since he's left the Islanders, he's had 2 points in 7 games. So that just tells you how bad John Tavares has been in the playoffs for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, and again, it's really a team that's had a lot of pressure on them all the time, and we know that. And they're the one team that if you think they would benefit on the home ice advantage, but they're the Leafs. They find ways to crumble under pressure.
Can't stand them
with their own fans.
If there's a team I can't stand, I can't stand the Maple Leafs more than I can't stand the Rangers.
Really?
I can't stand the Maple Leafs. I do not want to see them win. I'm hoping that the Blue Jackets, I believe the Blue Jackets will knock them out. And if they don't, I don't see them getting far in the playoffs, especially going through the round robin that they're going to have to go through to get there.
Yeah, so they're going to have to play a lot of offensive firepower in the second round, even if they do advance against the Blue Jackets. And again, maybe they have enough offense to do so because
they have no defense.
That's the problem. They have no defense. The question
just like the AK Rangers.
Right. Does Columbus have enough offense is always the question with them, too, because their offensive depth is iffy. But again, defense seems to be winning in this playoff so far, with the exception of that Blackhawks-Oilers series, which has been a shootout for the most part. Every series has gone more to the defensive depth teams. You mentioned the Hurricanes. They got one of the deepest ones in the league. Dougie Hamilton didn't even play much.
The Islanders?
I don't think he even played at all. So
the Islanders games have been very, very close, 1-goal games. So, and I expect that to go all the way to the end. And tomorrow, when the Islanders play at noon against the Florida Panthers, even though the Florida Panthers are not known for their defense, they've played very good defensively against the New York Islanders. So, and the Islanders aren't an offensive team, so you don't expect them to score a lot of goals. But you watch the reason why the Islanders are up 2-1, and they could have won the other day. They had opportunities, they couldn't put the puck in the net. I think that the Islanders have a very good chance of knocking off the Florida Panthers because of their defense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think the physicality of that series really helps because, again, both teams have been physical, but I think the Islanders, with Trotz's system, it's just going to be a little more physical with the players that they have, even the forwards that they have, the fourth line, the third line guys, really matched up well for that type of intensity. And the Panthers have done well so far at times at matching that physicality, but the Islanders have just been too big for them. And as a result, especially in that first game, they really possessed the puck well, too, even if they didn't get a lot of shot attempts.
As you guys know, we are live every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and every other Fridays. And I'm talking about my shows from Below the Mic to Down to the Wire to Caged In MMA. There will not be Caged In MMA tomorrow. Me and Anthony decided to move it on to next week because we're going to have Tara. We're going to have a couple of MMA fighters, Bellator fighters on the show. They're going to be fighting this weekend, and then we're going to have them both on the show next week after the fight. So that'll be interesting. Back and forth bantering with them. especially with me and Anthony arguing back and forth.
Of course.
So, it would be like a tag. It'll be like a tag team match. It would be really, really funny. Must listen to next week with me and Anthony Androssi on Caged In MMA. So
when are you actually going to get those shirts? Because I'm waiting for those types of duels.
We do. We are definitely going to Team Panda versus Team Gratuity. And gratitude. Well, I call it gratuity because I'm all about gratuity, baby. Yeah, that's right. You got to give me all that tax money, baby. Anyways, that's it for our show, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back on Monday. Yes, Monday. We will not have any technical difficulties. We did have one. I want to shout out to JT Byrne for joining us, Oregon State tight end who joined us. Great interview. Great kid. Really, really straightforward and honest and really gave us some good answers. Yeah. I want to apologize to the fans if they heard an echo. We will fix that audio for the fans to actually hear the good interview. Also, I would like to give a shout out to CJ Smooth Dippre for joining us. Great kid too from PA, also going to Maryland. I've been watching the QB1 and Lance Legradaba, whatever. I can't pronounce his Legrande or whatever his name is. He's out of New Orleans, and the kid's has some arm. He is going to be a future NFL quarterback. Reminds me of Teddy Bridgewater.
Louisiana high school football is notoriously good for getting NFL prospects there. So.
Well, he is going to Maryland. And I was very surprised he picked Maryland out of all the schools that were scouting him. Florida State was scouting him.
Oh, wow.
There were a lot of big schools. He had an opportunity. I forget where he had an opportunity to go. I think Arkansas. Arkansas was another team that was recruiting him. There were a couple of good teams. He didn't want to play. I don't think he wanted to play in New Orleans. So, anyways, I'm looking forward. I would love to get him on the show, too. I would love to get him on the show. So, anyways, that's it for our show. We will be back on Monday. Tomorrow, we have the Wise Guys. I will be joining the Wise Guys tomorrow. That's going to be fun. Shout out to the Hit List. All of the shows that we have.
We had the debut yesterday of the BS Sports Show.
BS Sports Show, all the shows that we have and all the new shows that we're going to be bringing in. We are going to bring in Snowman in the morning whenever he decides to get his stuff together.
You two need to have some kind of bickering together just about basketball because you guys seem to disagree on everything about basketball.
Well, we'll see. But
that would be a show for the ages.
Me and Brian have argued many, many years. So I'd love to get Brian on our network very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. We have other shows going to be joining us very, very soon. Shout out to the Mike Brown and his team over there at Belly Up Sports. We're going to be working with them very, very soon. So I'm very excited moving forward with our network. Shout out to Eric Coleman over there in Florida, ex-New York Jet, Atlanta Falcon, and ex-Detroit Lion over there with his family. His family's okay. Everything is okay in Florida. We will be on live on Saturday. If you guys love sports, go to 103.9 LI News Radio. It will be on the FM dial here on Long Island. You can check us out anywhere in the country. You go look for the stream, LI News Radio, JVC Broadcasting here in Long Island, 103.9. You can hear the Weekend Crunch every single Saturday at 7 p.m. New York Eastern Time. So we will be back Monday here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network here on Down to the Wire, Below the Mic, and Caged In MMA. Until then, this is Errol Marks and Speedy PD saying good night. We'll talk to you then. Good night, everybody.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.